All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch this video, and then I'm gonna look at it if you find it after we're done this video. Okay. This is what I'm gonna do. Okay. So basically, worst punishment in history, and if you look, we got a lot of different stuff. Oh my god, bamboo through booty. Yo, what does that even mean? I'm I'm ready. Yo, I'm ready. I'm just saying, I'm ready. Let's get it going.
Yakuza finger removal.
Yakuza
Also known as
finger removal.
Yubatsume. It's a ritual done to gain forgiveness after a member committed an offense to someone else in his group, and it consists of amputating portions of one's own little finger to show
Oh,
sincere apology and remorse to the other. I've put this one
oh.
as the least painful because it doesn't usually cause lifelong.
How is that the least painful? That yo, you get your finger chopped off? Yo, we are not that ass. That is not the least painful. If that hold on. Hold on. Alright, we're centered. That is crazy. Because yo, imagine getting your finger chopped off and you know. It's like it's a gang. They don't numb you. They don't make sure that you're okay. No, bro. No. Dude, that is bad. That is bad. Throughout the video, should I just do this whenever I want to talk, or should I? Why the fuck? Look at how bright my fucking face is. Look at how white I am. Oh my lord. Look how white I am. Bro. Holy shit. Marshmallow Kev. Oh my god. I sent it. I'll check Discord after this video, which is what I explained at the start. I just spit everywhere. At the end of this video. All right, bro. Whatever you say.
Long-lasting pain, and it isn't
That's
deadly,
crazy.
unlike the brutal ones further down the list.
No, I don't know, man. That shit deadly if they use some rusty knife, dog. No, I'm not staring at the cam again. You had your chance.
Bastinado consists of beating the victim with a light rod, knotted cord, or lash, exclusively on the feet. Unlike most types of flogging, it is meant more to be painful than to cause actual injury. Even though if done too harshly or for too long, it might cause the victim to not be able to walk anymore. This one is also not deadly.
Oh my god.
Pitch capping. Pitch capping
yeah, but like you like can't walk. Bro.
Pouring hot pitch or tar into a conical paper cap and forcing it onto the victim's head. The pitch was allowed to cool.
Why am I so white? Because the entire screen is white. Yeah, that makes me mad. Hold on. Let me scooch back just so I'm not as white, you know what I'm saying? Let me scooch I scooch back a little bit.
And the cap was ripped off, removing skin and tissue from the victim's scalp, scarring him for life. It wasn't usually done with the intention of killing, but deadly infections after this weren't that uncommon.
Oh my god! He's going through these way too fast. Like, you just scalp somebody? Oh my god!
This punishment, also known as Gunga Rao, was mostly used in Asia, specifically India, and it consisted of killing the victim by crushing him with an elephant. There were two variations of this. If the victim was lucky, his head would be placed on a pedestal, and the elephant would crush it instantly.
That's lucky? What the fuck is unlucky?
Killing him. This wasn't that painful because the victim would die instantly, but the second variation wasn't as forgiving. Some royal members wanted to sit down and enjoy a long show, so they ordered the elephant riders to train the elephants to walk over non-vital parts first, such as the legs and arms.
That is ridiculous. Oh my god, imagine getting slowly trampled by an elephant. That sounds like the worst death ever. I don't know how there could be a worse one on here. That sounds like the worst death imaginable.
Person would get crushed over and over before the elephant actually walked over his head and killed him.
Oh my god. Cause like you just sitting there, arms and legs broken. So they're like here, your arms and legs broken, and you just like, damn, I'm gonna die. Like, well, you're not gonna sit there saying that. You're gonna be like, oh my god, oh, I'm gonna die. Like you're gonna think that. Help me. But imagine being in that predicament. What could you have done? I will check Discord after this video.
Poina Cully. In ancient Rome, those who would kill their own father were subjected to Poina Cully. It was a death penalty that
Killed their own father. Is that a common thing?
consisted of being sewn up in a leather sack.
Is that like such a common thing that they needed to get a specific torture method just for killing your father? How many people kill their fathers? That's fucked up. What the fuck? That's fucked up. I did. I highly doubt that you did it. I highly doubt that you did that.
With a mix of live animals, including a dog, snake, monkey, and a chicken, and then being thrown into water. Roman decimation.
Them poor animals. What the
Ancient
fuck?
Rome, those who would kill their own father were subjected to Poina Cully. It was a death penalty that consisted of being sewn up in a leather sack with a mix of live animals, including a dog, snake, monkey, and a chicken, and then being
Why the fuck? Why would you kill them animals? They didn't do nothing.
thrown into water. Roman
Yo,
decimation.
that's messed
In
up.
ancient Rome, when military units or a large group were guilty of capital offenses, such as cowardice, mutiny, or desertion, they went through the process of decimation. A cohort of roughly 480 soldiers that needed to be punished was divided into groups of 10, and each group drew lots randomly. The soldier who picked the shortest straw had to be
shit.
killed by his 9 friends, often
Oh
by
my
stoning, clubbing, or
God.
stabbing, while the 9
Oh my god.
surviving ones had to stay outside the fortified security of the camp for some time. Since the killed victim was chosen randomly, all soldiers in the group were potentially liable for execution, regardless of how guilty they were. Blowing from a gun. Blowing from a gun
Blowing
is a method of
Yo, that is messed up. Yeah, so like what if your friend like does like he was like I'm leaving. He went AWOL. And then you were a part of that, right? You were a part of that like squadron. They're like, "You know what? You, a guy who like did everything but he stole like I know in that time this didn't exist, but like stole a pack of gum from a shop. It's like you're dying today." That's messed up.
execution, in which the victim is typically tied to the mouth of a cannon, which is then fired, resulting in instant death. A description of what happens was given by an English soldier in the 19th century, and he said that the victim's head goes straight up into the air for about 40 or 50 feet. The arms fly off right and left, high up in the air, and fall at around 100 yards distance,
Oh my god.
while the legs drop to the ground beneath the muzzle of the gun. It's this low on the list because the victim probably doesn't feel a thing, as his death is
Yeah, probably not. That shit's just gone. You're gone. You're imagine you just strapped to that cannon. You like okay, you're strapped to that cannon. You go look to your right. Oh hey Jesus. Huh? No, like that, yo. It's bad, bro.
instant. Basil II's blind journey. Byzantine Emperor
That's a little bit of a mouthful, but okay.
Basil II reportedly captured 15,000 Bulgarians during the Battle of Klyden, so he decided to use them as a message to their homeland. He divided the prisoners
Oh,
into groups of
Jesus.
100, and then he had 99 out of every 100 blinded, with the 100th man
Oh Jesus. Oh, and imagine how they blinded him. Just like, come here. Let me scoop your fucking eyeball out with a goddamn knife. Oh, god damn.
being blinded in only one eye, so that he could still lead the other 99 back home. Bulgarian Tsar Samuel
Oh, Jesus Christ. So you literally needed like you were blind and you were half blind and you had to lead a group of 99 people back home. Oh my god. So, oh. That is What the fuck is that comment, bro?
died of a heart attack on October 6, 1014, reportedly due to seeing his soldiers blinded. Castor oil poop barrels.
Wait, what?
Make
What?
9 back home. Bulgarian Tsar Samuel died of a heart attack on October 6, 1014, reportedly due to seeing his soldiers blinded. Castor oil poop barrels.
Damn.
Making someone drink a lot of castor oil caused stomach pain and made them so sick that they could no longer hold their poop together. They would then
This is the worst one. Oh my god. Crush me with a fucking elephant.
put the person in a big human-sized barrel and remove them when the person confessed. This could even go as far as leaving the person to drown.
I did it! I did it! Hey! I did it! I swear I did it! Put me in jail! Don't do this! Don't do this, please!
Their own body fluids inside the barrel if he didn't cooperate. Immurement. Immurement was used both as an execution method and as a lifelong imprisonment method. It consisted of putting someone in an enclosed space in really tight space, such as behind a wall, for the rest of his life. If it was used as an execution method, the person would be left to starve to death, while if it was used as imprisonment, they would regularly give the victim food. Rack.
Holy
The
shit.
person would be forced to lay on a rectangle-shaped wooden rack that stretched the victim's body by pulling the arms and
That
legs in
is bad.
opposite directions. It caused incredible pain and could lead to
That is
dislocated
bad.
limbs and torn ligaments. It was
You could fucking rip the arm off. Fuck torn ligaments. You're gonna rip his arms off.
mainly used as a method to get information, but it could also be used to tear the victim's limbs out and leave him bleeding to death.
That is so much worse than the elephant, I think. I don't even know. I don't know what is worse than the poop barrel. But like second most has got to be either the rack or the elephant.
Tarring and feathering. Tarring and feathering is a form of
Oh, like
public
a
torture
cartoon?
where a victim is stripped naked or stripped to the waist, while wood tar, sometimes hot, is either
Oof.
poured or
Go back to what? Why? What do you mean go back? A bit more for
tarring and feathering.
what, bro? This? Look at the one below the rack. Wheel? It's wheel guy.
Tarring and feathering. Tarring and feathering is a form of public torture.
Throw it at the guards or yo. Yo, I don't think you understand. You are locked in that barrel. You're locked in the barrel. You are not getting out, buddy. You not getting out.
Where a victim is stripped naked or stripped to the waist, while wood tar, sometimes hot, is either poured or painted onto the person. After that, the victim would have feathers thrown onto him, or he was rolled around on a pile of feathers so that they stuck to the tar. This would not only cause extreme burns to the victim's skin, permanently scarring him, but also psychologically humiliate him in public, as he was meant to look like a giant chicken walking around the street. Choke pear.
Yeah, you know what? I never really thought of that when I was watching Fairly Odd Parents. But yeah, nah, that shit's gotta hurt. You know, when it happened to Vicky, it was kind of funny, or Timmy, I don't know who it happened to.
It was a metal tool that was put into someone's mouth or booty hole and then made big.
God damn no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, not the hold on, my camera's not centered and it's making me so fucking mad.
Bigger on purpose. The tool would stretch the tissue to the point of no return. Aztecs live heart removal. When the Aztecs
That is disgusting, bro.
sacrificed people to Huitzilopochtli, the sun god, the
Not
victim
my
would
ass.
be placed on a sacrificial stone, and the priest would then cut through the abdomen with an obsidian or flint blade. The heart would be torn out, still beating.
I have a question. What is your question? That is crazy. Live tearing out the heart.
And held towards the sky in honor of the sun god. Heretic's fork. It's a collar with two sets of
I
metal
know this
forks on
one.
each end. One set was placed under the chin and the other at the sternum. And
If you're born deaf, what language do you think in? You probably don't. Gonna be completely honest with you. You definitely don't. You just don't. You know what you do? You look at objects and you're like, object. When you're born anyway, what you don't think in a language. Like if you were born around no language, you don't like you only hear the language when you're first born. You don't think in that language. All you're thinking is like you don't think.
The device was secured around the neck. This forced the victim to keep their head raised, leading to severe discomfort and sleep deprivation. The person
Shit.
would be asked questions or just be left there while the fork slowly pierced through.
Well, what if when you go to bed you lay on your stomach and you're just like this the whole time and you're just like yeah, what if you just like that the whole time?
Through their neck and jaw, and this lasted until the victim could no longer hold their head raised, causing the fork to pierce through. Rat's cup. A method attributed to the Roman
GG.
Emperor Nero involved tying a cup filled with hungry rats to the victim's stomach and then applying heat to the bottom, forcing the rats to burrow through the victim's body to escape. In
Oh my god.
some parts of South America, they used a variation of this method called the rectoscope, which consisted of an
I don't even want to know what that. I know what it is. I know what it is. You don't even have to.
inserting living rats into a victim's rectum through a tube, forcing them to make their way through the victim's body to get out. Catherine's
Yo,
an
what is with these people back in the day and with butt stuff? Yo, I'm just saying, bro. What is with these people?
execution method where the victim's limbs were tied to a large wheel and then struck with a hammer or iron bar, breaking their bones in multiple places. The wheel was placed on display later on, often leaving the victim to starve. Boiling alive. The victim would be lowered into a large container with a boiling liquid, such as
That is so bad.
oil, gradually and slowly. The first exposed
Oh my
parts
god.
would be the extremities, such as
Yeah, buddy just got rid of the pain meter. Just out of nowhere.
fingers and toes, which have lots of nerve endings and cause incredible pain. Then the skin, muscles, and fat softened and liquefied due to the heat, while internal organs and the flesh got boiled from the outside, making this a slow and agonizing process. In another variation, which is thought to be even more painful and long, the victim would be lowered into a normal temperature liquid, which would be gradually heated until it
That is so much worse. That is so much worse on so many levels.
started boiling. Keel hauling. Keel hauling was a severe maritime punishment where a sailor was tied to a rope and dragged underwater
I know this one.
from one side of the ship to the other, passing
And then if he doesn't die, they do it again.
under the ship's keel. If the person did not drown or get vital damage from the rusty and sharp wooden body of the ship itself, they would just do it again until the person was no longer alive. It was feared for its brutality. Sawing. When used as an execution
Sawing. Oh my god.
method, the victim would be hanged upside down to make the blood flow to the head, increasing the time the person was conscious. The executioner would then divide
That is brutal. That is so bad. Sorry, my ankle itches, bro. I got bit by mosquitoes. That is so bad.
the victim vertically into two halves, starting from the groin and moving upwards.
Now you get your dick cut in half.
Hanged, drawn, and quartered. This method was used to execute men convicted of high treason in medieval and early modern Britain and
Mosquitoes. Yeah, mosquitoes.
Ireland, and it consisted of multiple steps. The convicted traitor was tied to a wooden board and dragged behind a horse to the execution site. There, he was almost hanged to death, then mutilated and had his organs removed, before being beheaded and his body divided into 4 parts.
Who wants to do this? Hold the fuck on. There's got to be people to do this. You got people with this profession. Hey, here's your job. I don't know. Hang this guy. Normal. And right before he dies, cut his internal organs out. And then cut him in pieces. Then they go home to their wives. Hey, honey, how was work? Ah, good. I just cut this guy in 4 pieces. Oh my god.
Parts, just in case he was
One time I beat a frog to death because he was near my trash can. You are weird. I hope you're just joking just to get a reaction out of me. I hope you're joking to get a reaction out of me. Cause nah, that's psychotic. That's some like Michael Myers before he turned insane type shit. Or like not before he turned insane, but before he started killing all those people type shit. That's like equivalent to kids drawing like shadow figures and saying it's their best friend to their dad or their mom. Yo, if my kid did that, bro, right out the door. You're getting fucking put up for adoption immediately. I got an action solved. Okay, nah, you're just weird, bro.
still alive. These
Nah, you're weird. No, like
remains were often displayed in well-known places across the country, like London Bridge, to warn others about the consequences of being a traitor.
that is crazy. And then someone has to hang them there. Why is that an eggplant, bro? It's about to be something with your dick, bro.
Glastration. This method wasn't always deadly, but in my opinion, it deserves this spot because of how brutally painful it sounds. It's the method of inserting a glass rod into a man's erect willy and then smashing it with a hammer.
Oh! How'd they get it? How did they get it erect, though? How do you get it erect, though? Like, yo, I don't know. If I knew that was gonna happen to me, I wouldn't be like, what? I don't even. Actually, I don't want to know how they would.
Causing the glass rod to fragment into multiple small pieces.
Cut the whole fucking cut the whole thing off. Cut the whole thing off. I just get it surgically cut in half, bro. Cut all off, bro. Nah.
All over the insides. Bamboo through booty hole.
Oh my god, it's getting worse. No, that's the worst. That's the worst. The glass one? Does this happen like a part? Wait, what?
A bamboo would be put inside a person's booty hole, and it would be left there. The bamboo would grow really quickly inside the man, causing incredible pain. It was sometimes left until it exited from the other side.
That is bamboozling. Alright, sorry.
Spanish donkey.
Sorry, no, but that is so brutal. That is brutal. Oh my god.
This was a sharp-angled wooden device on which the victim was forced to sit, straddling it like a donkey, with weights attached to their feet.
People are so fucked up. People are so fucked up.
This would increase pressure and pain on the body, often causing severe injury to the legs and spine until the victim was ripped apart by their body weight. Brazen bull. A metal statue.
This is bad. The brazen bull is really bad. But like I cannot imagine, like it is not worse than getting like glass smashed inside your dick.
Shaped like a real-sized bull was used to lock someone
like
inside
brochacho.
And then heat it up with fire underneath. The person inside would feel extreme heat and pain while being burned alive, and it was meant to scare others by showing...
Hey, listen, Tiny Tim, I don't know that answer. If I knew that answer, I would tell you. Usually, I have the answer to everything, but I don't have the answer for that one.
How bad the punishment could be. There were special pipes to make the victim breathe, which also made the screams hearable for the crowd, resulting in a bull-like sound. The steam would leave from the bull's nose for extra realism.
God,
impalement.
Bro.
The brutal part of impaling, like crucifixion, is that the victim tortured himself. In a famous variant, he was set up high, on a stake, so that it didn't actually penetrate anything vital so long as he stayed up on his toes, so he could keep it from going any deeper so long as he kept his own weight on his feet. When the victim would get tired, he would slip a little further, and when he felt the pain, he would scramble up again on the already aching and exhausted muscles, only to repeat this process out of exhaustion a little later, and so on until something vital got pierced. Another variant consisted of the Judas chair, a torture device featuring a pyramid-shaped seat where the victim was placed at the top, with ropes used to lower and suspend their body weight onto the sharp apex. The chair would slowly rip the person apart. Flaying. Flaying was
That is so bad.
Gruesome method where the skin was removed from the body while the victim was still alive. This extreme form of torture...
While the victim was alive? How? How do you do that? Like, how does someone stay alive for that?
Was used to cause intense, slow pain and suffering, eventually leading to death through shock or infection. The skin, lacking major blood vessels, did not cause rapid blood loss, so victims could remain
God,
and endure prolonged agony. It was often considered a meticulous process, requiring precision and skill from the executioner. And rather than removing the skin in pieces, cultures sought methods to flay the victim more efficiently and completely, sometimes using substances like boiling water to facilitate the process. Blood Eagle. This one was a brutal...
Okay, Blood Eagle is bad too, but...
ritual, where the victim's ribs were cut from the spine and spread out to resemble wings, while the lungs were pulled through the openings, causing a slow, agonizing death. It's...
Dude, okay, no, this is so bad. This is so bad.
Short, but it's one of the most brutal ones, in my opinion. Ling Chi. Also
Ling Chi. There's a bunch of knives.
Known as death by 1,000 cuts, it was a famous method used in China to prolong the suffering for as long as possible. There were multiple variations of this method, even though almost all of them included cutting the skin deep enough to cause incredible pain, but not deep enough to allow the victim to lose blood. In one variation, the victim was restrained, and an executioner would pull knives out at random, each with a body part on it. Left forearm, right thigh, left foot, neck, etc. Each time he'd pull a knife out, he would make a cut on that body part. This would continue until the executioner pulled out the knife with the heart on it, and that's when he stabbed the victim through the heart. In another variation, they would tie a fishnet tightly around someone's body and cut off the pieces of skin that popped up in the holes of the net. In the most brutal version, they would bury someone up to their neck, make a
oh my fuck.
cross-shaped cut at the crown of the head, peel the skin back, and pour mercury in the wound.
How is that a variation of that? That just sounds like that just sounds like a whole new torture
mercury,
method.
through its weight, would separate skin from flesh, and as the person struggled to unbury themselves, they would eventually leave their skin behind in the hole. Scaphism.
Leave their skin in the hole. Read my last message. Guess these mortals new combat. Okay, bro. Okay, bro.
This one is considered by many to be the worst execution method. In this punishment, the condemned person was placed inside a boat or between two boats, lying on their back with their arms and legs protruding through holes. They were force-fed large amounts of milk and honey, which induced severe diarrhea, and their entire body was smeared with the same mixture. This made them attractive to rodents, bugs, wasps, bees, flies, and whatever other animals lived near the lake. They would eat...
Skeeters. Skeeters. Can't forget the mosquitoes. They'll come on. They'll come after you, bro. In a swamp, yeah. And you know, back in the day, bro, those things were bigger. I don't know how much bigger, but they were bigger.
And bite at the victim's flesh. And when the next morning arrived, the boat would be brought back to the coast, and they would force feed him another gigantic
holy shit again
of milk and honey, also placing it on him once more. This was done on a daily basis to prolong the punishment for as long as...
Dude, when does he die?
Possible. It was reported that the rats would usually try to go into the person's booty hole, and that the method...
Okay, bro, what is with the booty hole? What is with that? Seriously, we gotta stop the butt stuff when it comes to torture methods.
Was so long that it seemed to have no end, with a person surviving 17 days. This person reportedly had his entire
17 days. You know how long 17 days is? Imagine for the rest of your life. 17 days, which would be the rest of your life. You are in a boat, sent out into the swamp, force-fed honey and milk, and then rats climbed in your ass. Bees stung you. Bugs just kept crawling on you for 17 days straight.
face completely covered with wasp, and his flesh was rotting away, filled with swarms of parasites and worms, all while being covered
Oh my god, imagine there's like maggots crawling in your skin. Oh.
with his own filth. If you want to discuss this
Oh my
video or
God.
suggest an idea for
I do not want to discuss this video. I don't want to discuss this video. Like, God damn. That was bad. Very, very bad.